There was a time when installing a game on Android was the most exciting thing ever. Simple apps, simple games, no tricks, no endless ads, no forced subscriptions, just fun. But little by little, everything changed. Ads multiplied, microtransactions appeared everywhere, and apps slowly transformed into machines built to squeeze money out of the user. And out of that frustration came Lucky Patcher, an app that promised to give power back to the people, a tool that let users break rules that companies forced on them. But what started as a simple idea soon became the biggest headache Google had ever faced, and one of the most controversial apps in Android history. If we go back to 2010, Android was a different world. You could download Fruit Ninja, Temple Run, Angry Birds, and just enjoy them. Ads were small, a tiny banner at the top of the screen. Nothing harmful, nothing annoying. But that golden age didn't last long. As the years passed, ads evolved into pop-ups, then into forced video ads, then into ads every time you failed a level. Eventually, some games locked progress behind a 30-second advertisement, and then microtransactions arrived. Around 2012, developers realized something. If they added coins, gems, energy bars, or special characters behind a paywall, people would buy them. Not because they wanted to, but because the game pushed them into it. The fun shifted from skill to who had the most money. Then came subscriptions. Suddenly, basic features were locked behind monthly payments, and if you didn't subscribe, the ads became even worse. The Android ecosystem had changed. Apps were no longer tools, they were business models. And in the middle of that chaos, one programmer decided to fight back. His name was Chelpis. He wasn't trying to get rich, he wasn't trying to become famous. He simply wanted to give users back the freedom they had lost. Around 2012, he released Lucky Patcher. At first, it looked like a small experiment, just a tool for geeks and rooted phone enthusiasts. But quickly, everything changed. It became something much bigger. Lucky Patcher could remove ads, modify app permissions, clone apps, bypass license verification for paid apps, and simulate in-app purchases. For millions of people, it felt like magic. For companies and developers, it was a nightmare. The key to Lucky Patcher's power was simple. Android apps were insecure back then. Developers stored the business logic directly inside the APK, meaning the ad system lived inside the app. The payment check lived inside the app. The license verification lived inside the app. Nothing was protected on a secure server. Everything ran locally on the phone. Lucky Patcher took advantage of that weakness. It modified the binary file of an app, removing ads, disabling license checks, and unlocking paid features. And if done correctly, the app had no idea anything was changed. It also simulated purchases. You clicked Buy 10,000 gems machine, and the game simply believed you bought them. The result? Millions of dollars in lost income, especially for indie developers. Small studios that relied on microtransactions couldn't survive the sudden drop in revenue. The conflict between developers and Lucky Patcher exploded. Between 2014 and 2018, Lucky Patcher reached its peak. Rooted Android phones became popular. Forums like XDA and Tinga were filled with tutorials. YouTube creators made step-by-step guides. It was everywhere. But as with anything powerful, problems appeared. 4 major ones. When Google Play Protect launched in 2017, it flagged Lucky Patcher as dangerous software. Red warnings, pop-ups, forced uninstalls. But instead of stopping people, it made them more curious. The fame attracted copycats. Fake Lucky Patcher apps appeared everywhere, full of malware, viruses, and spyware. Most users didn't know which one was real. The reputation of the original tool got destroyed by imposters. Indie developers suffered the most. For many small studios, microtransactions kept the lights on. But with Lucky Patcher simulating purchases, revenue dropped dramatically. Some games shut down, others added even more ads to survive. Around 2016, big game studios introduced server-side checks. Supercell, Garena, and others banned thousands of accounts for using modified apps. Games like Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, and Free Fire became extremely strict. Some players lost accounts with years of progress, instantly. As security improved, Lucky Patcher began to fade. Developers moved important checks to the server. Even if the local app said, "Purchase complete," the server would respond, "No, this is fake." Unity, Flutter, and React Native introduced stronger protection. Anti-tamper systems evolved. Online games became nearly impossible to modify. Lucky Patcher, born in a simpler time, couldn't keep up. On top of that, its reputation collapsed. Due to so many fake versions carrying viruses, the original tool still exists in niche communities. But for most users, it became too risky. Other alternatives, like modded stores and patched APK hubs, took its place. Lucky Patcher was more than an app. For many of us, it was part of childhood, a time when you felt like a hacker just by tapping a button, a time when Android felt open, chaotic, and full of possibilities. But that era is gone. Today, Lucky Patcher survives only as a memory, a relic of an older Android world that no longer exists. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.